Have you ever been lunging your horse and the thought very quickly occurs to you that, hold on, whoa, Tonto, why are you going so fast? I need you to slow down a little. That wasn't what I asked for at all. Now, so many riders, they see rushing, especially when lunging, as being a sign of disobedience. But what if it's actually a sign of something else? What if rushing when on the lunge is a balance problem, not a speed one? And what could you do to help your horse to become a little bit more balanced? Hey there, and welcome to the Daily Strides podcast. My name is Lorna. I'm an equestrian coach and trainer, and I work with riders from all over the world, helping them going from having absolutely no confidence in their abilities to work with their horse to actually having a plan and seeing results when working with their horse. And one of my very favorite ways to do this, my all-time favorite ways, is to actually incorporate correct and good quality lunging sessions into your training with your horse. Now, I really and truly believe that rhythm is one of the very foundational elements when it comes to working with horses, riding and training. And that goes for whatever discipline you're working in. That goes for whatever age the horse is, wherever the horse is on their training journey, and also the rider, okay? Same principle applies. We have to first create the relaxation and the rhythm, okay? They have to be present in order for us to then go and to build on that. And what's often happening with horses when we find them running around like a lunatic on the lunge line, okay, is that it's actually a little bit of a loss of balance, which is leading to a loss of confidence. Now, I get it. Sometimes horses are fresh, okay, and they're feeling hot to trot and they are like, woohoo, look at me. The day is young and so am I and all that fun stuff, okay? And they just have a little bit of extra, I don't know, vuma in there that they have to kind of get out a little bit. And that is one thing, okay? And I'm not going to say that doesn't happen. Of course that happens. But I'm talking about when you're actually in the session, like you're working with your horse, you've been working for maybe a few minutes, you ask a question, and instead of your horse answering the question, your horse actually begins to speed up. And I want you to think about this from your perspective. Have you ever been out walking or out jogging or even on a bicycle, okay, out cycling? And if you're walking or jogging, you trip. Okay, so if you trip up or you kind of lose your balance, what do? You automatically take a couple of fast steps and then you kind of rebalance yourself. And depending on how well you're able to rebalance yourself, those steps will either, take you on a little bit, okay, or not. And we all know the outcome if things aren't great, okay? And the same with cycling. You'll often see, especially with people who are just learning to cycle, how if they go slowly, they're like just wibbly wobbly wonders. And it's only through speeding up that they're able to keep their balance, okay? And your horse is the same. That kind of speeding up, it's often like a coping mechanism for kind of a weak core, weak strength, and the lack of balance that goes with it. I think as riders, we can often see it as being that our horses are being maybe, disobedient, okay? Using air quotations here. Or like our horses are not listening. But it's them basically trying to catch themselves, okay? It's your horse basically trying to stay upright. And that's why your horse is rushing and racing. Now, I think that when we're lunging, and I want to stress this, like lunging is so marvelous because when we're lunging, our horse gets to figure these things out. Our horse gets to use their body, okay, to communicate with us via the aids, but doing it without our weight and, so often our mixed signals, kind of making it all murky, okay? Like, dirty in the water, muddy in the water a little bit, okay? The horse is able to have the space to actually begin to figure things out, which will lead to self-carriage. Now, is it going to happen overnight? No, because it needs strength, okay? But I think that if we can begin thinking about the rhythm and because of the rhythm, how we could begin to incorporate half halting while on the lunge to help that and to regulate it. We can then help our horses going forward. And this is like foundational. As I said before, you've relaxation and you've rhythm, and they are the foundational pieces. And I think when you can begin to become aware of how you can use your aids to half halt while lunging your horse, that is going to really, really help both of you, okay? So if we think about the half halt when we're riding, so often riders they become a bit handy, okay? And they'll only use their hand through the half halt. And, if you've been riding for any length of time, you've probably heard somebody say to you, or you've heard somebody talk about the fact that no, it's not just the hand, okay? Now, similarly, when people lunge, they tend to do the exact same thing. They think that their lunge line is the way to kind of slow the ball down and just, whoa, the energy there, Tonto, okay? And they'll start pulling the lunge line in an attempt to rebalance the horse. But again, just like riding, that's not going to work. All it's going to do is maybe the horse will totally ignore it, or the horse is going to become very, very heavy. And this is why your lunge line is just one aid when we lunge, okay? We need to have other aids in play. Like, I think that in this case, your voice becomes very important. Your posture becomes very, very important, and your actions, like how you're carrying your body, but also then your position in relation to the horse. And all of this, when you begin to combine everything together, you can begin to ask for half halt while on the lunge. Now, what's also equally as important is that you can ask all the things. And remember, if you've never asked these things before, your horse doesn't know what you're asking. Your horse is like, what? Like, what do you mean? I don't know. I don't understand. So what is important here is that as soon as your horse even thinks in the correct direction of the thought where you want your horse to go to when you half halt, you need to reward that thought, okay? So often I see riders and they're so quick to keep kind of hammering aids at the horse. They keep throwing questions at the horse, but they never actually tell the horse when the horse gets the question right, when the horse answers the way they want. They don't make it clear that the horse has responded the way they would like, or has done something to the desired expectation that the rider had for that kind of question as they threw it out there, okay? So it's really, really important to communicate this. And again, just like we said, all of those aids are used together to actually communicate the half halt, okay? To ask for the half halt. Similarly, all the aids come together to actually reward the half halt as well, okay? So again, I just love lunging. I think lunging is amazing. Again, I've mentioned why it's so good for the horse, but it's so good for you, the rider, because you get to figure out all these things about yourself as well, okay? You get really, really clear on the concept of an action and a consequence, and you can see it play out in real time in front of you, not just kind of think that you felt something. It might have felt a bit like that. No, who cares? You can actually see it play out in front of you in real time. So how could you do this? Well, you could start this week by, first of all, lunging correctly, okay? Loads of episodes on it. I'll link to them all in the show notes of this one, okay? So just scroll down, you'll get to that. But I also think then you could start with transitions and using the transitions to begin thinking about your aids and how you're communicating the transition to your horse. Now, I also think that if you have been guilty of using the lunge line as a way to either A, keep your horse on the circle, okay, so you're using it like a steering wheel, or B, you've been using it to slow the horse down, you're like pulling out of it, it's like you're water skiing, okay? Yeah, no, that's not what the lunge line's for at all. I am going to release a Strides Revisited episode after this one, just to explain to you that concept of the lunge line and what really it is, okay, for you and your horse. So I think that's important as well. But yeah, start with transitions, and then from that, begin thinking about refining the transitions, like the smoothness. Now, if you initially ask for the transition and it takes your horse like 3 more kind of circuits of the lunging arena, okay, 3 more circles to actually perform the transition, well, there you go. That's your starting point. But then if your horse is fairly responsive with regards to the transition, you could then begin with actually looking for the smoothness. And we're talking here about the smoothness in the tension levels, okay? So we're talking here that your horse is now beginning to combine the rhythm and the relaxation in order to produce a better transition. And then from there, you can ask for transitions within the gait itself. So within walk, you can ask for transitions. Within trot, you can ask for transitions, okay? And all it means is changes to the gait, okay? A transition is a change. That's all it is. So it's just changes to the gait, but you could ask for that as well. I think that it's really important to let your horse guide you with regards to where they are in their training. Sometimes we can get so caught up with kind of having a plan for what we want to do that day that we fail to actually see what our horse is trying to tell us about what we need. And I do think that practicing the half halt while on the lunge is a great way to actually allow the horse to begin to have a bigger input into the conversation and to actually lead the conversation at places where you actually need to learn more about what your horse knows and what your horse doesn't know. And then, of course, learn more about yourself and how those aids apply as well. If you would like to do more on this topic, if you want to go deeper, this is actually what we're working on inside of Connection this month. It's all about half halting on the lunge. You can find all the details over at stridesforsuccess.com/join. And next week, I've got information on something really exciting coming up for free that will also help you with this in your riding. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Have a fantastic day. Ooh, and if you haven't already, make sure you sign up for the Your Signature Ride Challenge. It is on horseback, not lunging, okay? But the half halt would be a really important feature of it. So yeah, you can find all the details for that over at stridesforsuccess.com/ride. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Have a fantastic day. Keep well, and I'll chat to you soon. Be good. Bye.